Hey, ladies and gents, it's Zim, and we're going to talk about light tanks today. Actually, particularly scouting in general. It's after a shit-tastic day full of light tank drivers that have just literally made me pull my hair out. Um, these are not medium tanks. They don't do well if you go city and you're going to go play peeky pokey with E100s. They don't do well if you're going to try to go brawl with um, medium tanks when they're full health. Blah blah blah. Uh, you know, I've seen so many games broke, the win loss because we lose our light tanks too early in the game for pulling things that are questionable and that kind of stuff. If you're a light tank driver, you have to survive most of the game to be successful. If you look at any of the light tank drivers out there that are really successful in light tanks, they're still alive at the end of the game for the most part. They might die in the last minute or two, but they're usually alive all the way to the end. And that really differentiates between good light tank drivers and tank drivers that are shouldn't be in a light tank. Um, and that's just might be because they just don't understand. And this is kind of what the point of my video here is just to help out the guys that are starting out in the light tanks or have questions or kind of don't have an understanding of how a light tank should be played. There's two ways of scouting. There's the active and there's the passive. And the two videos that I cut coming up here, one's passive and one's active. And they're both two different ways of playing the light tank. It also depends on how you set up your tank and what kind of light tank you're driving. I'm playing the RU251, which is my favorite light tanking game, period. Whether it's 5 or 10. This is my tank that I prefer. I do all my light tank missions in this one. In fact, both these light tank missions, or both these videos were both light tank missions that I completed using this RU251. And the two big things about light tanks, it comes down to crew skills and equipment. I typically, on my light tank, since I usually play more of an aggressive, active role, I usually play it with, for some reason, I actually have this off here, but I usually have a medium gun rammer on here, just to increase my reload. You can also put the camouflage net on here if you're playing a little more of a passive role. Same way you can switch out coated optics and put on telescopic. Once again, entirely up to you how you're going to play the tank. RU does not do real well. I mean, yeah, you can play the passive role if you can find a big enough bush. If you're playing the AMX series, where you have small tanks, where you can fit into bushes and be completely covered. Yeah, those are a little bit more of a passive type tank. RU just has great speed and maneuverability, so it's always kind of been more my play style to play it as an active tank. So yeah, that at least for the equipment wise, you're going to have to tailor it to what kind of tank you're playing and what kind of play style that you usually play that tank in. 54 lightweight's a little bit different, so is this tank's a little bit different. You can do the passive, but like I said, I have a tendency to more toward the active, and the active is not to get shot, but provide lights for your teammates as much as possible. And that's lots to do with making sure that you have cover fire. If you do get in trouble, make sure you have tanks being able to shoot at what you're trying to light. If you don't have that, there's no point in trying to light something if you don't have somebody that can shoot at it. All little things that you have to remember as a light tank driver. Same way with crew skills. I've went more toward the vision than I did with the camo. That's just me. BIAs, recon, situational awareness, all that stuff. Trying to get those built up and keep extending my view range out there. Plus, with the coated optics, puts my view range about 494 view range, which will burn through most camouflages on light tanks or TDs relatively easy. And like I said, being an active player, that definitely helps. If you're playing more of the passive light tank, hey, telescope, camouflage net, that kind of thing. Those are perfectly fine. This is all about, of course, what kind of tank you're playing, your mobility versus your size, that kind of thing. You just gotta mix and match until you find out something that works for you. I can say, hey, yeah, this is the way you got to set up your light tank. It just doesn't work that way. You try, if your play style, like I said, is more active, you want to set your tank up to be more active. You want to, if your play style is more passive, you want to set your tank up to be more passive. At least for, like I said, for the crew skills and your equipment, that's what you need to do. The other part of being a scout tank is, of course, understanding how the tanks move on the battlefields. Where do they typically go? What lines do they usually drive? That kind of things, and that's just by simply watching how the games unfold on every map. You can pretty easily figure out where you're going to find tanks and where they're going to be moving, and where you can pick them up at. The other thing is, of course, is map terrain. This takes time. You either have to be in the training rooms all the time to find all the little dips, folds, the perfect bushes to use your view range, where you can sit passive. Or, like I said, once again, the active, you have to know the terrain, how the folds, the hills, the little bumps, all that stuff that you can use to be more active and move your tank around the battlefield is all important. So that's a little bit, at least for the scouting part of it. And then this is, the only reason I made this was out of just pure frustration that I've had for today of watching game after game being lost because all of our light tanks are dead in the first 2 minutes or 3 minutes because they decide they're going to go to town, play peeky pokey with heavies, or they're going to YOLO rush a medium, dump their clip, and then the medium's only half dead. That kind of shit. You're not going to do that. That is a literally a picture of a not a good scout driver, right? I mean that's your job in this game. Your role in this game is to be the eyes for your team and staying alive as long as possible so you can fulfill that role. So I'm going to bring 2 games up for you guys to check out and kind of give an idea what I'm talking about and how to play a scout tank. Alright guys, back with the video on scouting. This is just going to be a general overview for you guys that are starting out in this. And this is what I'm doing here. This is going to be a passive game. I'm going to play this thing mostly passive, pretty much the whole game. And the best part about it is, I do have our 2 artillery, and and you have to talk to these guys, whether you hate artillery with a passion or not. Getting them to pay attention to what they're doing makes a huge difference. Being able to pick up spots for them and them actually hitting them is 2 different things. So I'm going to move over here, and this is about map. Understanding how the maps are, how they work, where the tanks usually go, and of course what is on these maps. This map has a particularly nice place right down here by these bushes. This actually works double both ways. I don't have their light tank really doesn't make an attempt to mess with me too much. He goes the other way, leaves himself out here in the open, a little far away. So I pick up the M103 right off the bat, the Batchat 12T, the M4 Rev, and of course the Waffenträger. So you notice I'm picking up a fair amount of spotting damage right off the bat. I'm not through the bush. Of course, always look in front to make sure you're not seeing any tank, part of the tank that's sitting out of the bush. And this is what I said about nice bushes. This, of course, once again, about map, understanding how the maps are, where all the bushes are at, where the places are to get the best spots. That's all part of this, being a scout player, is knowing where all this stuff is at. So I moved down here. Like I said, the reason I moved down here is because I know for a fact most of these tanks are going to be going up the A line. Surprised the Louver, whatever you want to call it, actually came down in here, and I'm not sure what he was doing, but he's just hanging out here, and he's at about 300 meters. And I don't, like I said, I just have two of the crew that actually have camo, but which is okay. Do not fire while you're in the bush at all. If you're playing the passive role, firing is the worst thing you can do. knock him out. Sitting about 2,600 spotted right now. Got the M4A1. He's sitting there, and this is hard for me because I'm an active player most of the time. But this was actually for a light tank mission. So, yeah, I had to do it. So now I'm going to move around a little bit here. Those guys can't see me. And I'm going to move over here a little bit. And I'm going to get kind of a little bit behind the bushes. Since they hadn't really picked me up here, I figured their view range was shit. And of course, with 6 cents, it picks up all that stuff. Picks up the E4 and the Waffenträger again. They're right at the edge of my view range. The Waffenträger's looking around. Oh, there you are, buddy. So I back up, and you can see how opaque the how the trees actually cover my my gunfire, so I'm able to fire at that tank. Typically, you don't want to unless you have enough cover where you can back up and then you can't be spotted. I had actually loaded heat for the E4, and now I'm just going to sit here and keep him tracked if I can. He's not popped up, so now I'm going to move ahead a little bit again and see if I can get the picking back up again. Once again, that stupid little tree in the way. It does help, like I said. Anything with view range. Of course, you only have a maximum view range on these tanks, but the better the view range, the easier it is for you to burn through the camouflage the other tank has. So I'm back on the. I'm just gonna hang out here and see what I can do. M4 is still not paying much attention to me, and I'm going to move. M4A1 is really the only one left over there. The Batchat 12T had taken a run. Once, like I said earlier, know about where your map, where it is a good bushes are sitting at, where all that kind of stuff is at, and that's what I did here. I just moved up until I got into the next set of nice bushes, and I was able to once again pick up some more tanks for my teammates to wreck. Scorpion G is almost dead. I'm about 6,500 spotting right now, and picking up almost 7K. E4 is kind of like, yeah, well, let's see what we're gonna do. He's not doing a whole lot. In fact, he's getting the shit kind of kicked out of him. Hey, in the passive thing, this is not for everybody because this is a hard thing to do, to just sit here and watch, right? I mean, I could have been just hammering some of these tanks from the side, but you know, I'm playing the passive role here. I guess the missions or whatever are probably a good reason to make you do this kind of stuff. So nothing over there. Now it's time to move up. And now late game, well, late game and meaning that there's not many tanks left, I'm going to switch kind of more into the medium style play. So you're going to be seeing less passive and more aggressive. So I'm going to move up here and see if I can pick up the Strev S1. Find the GC. He's looking away. Put a shell into him for 203. Get the rest of the spotting on him at 7,300. Now I'm still at 1,400. That Batchat 12T can still be a pain in the ass with that autoloader. He's fired once. I'm not real terrible interested into trying to kill him. So I'm going to move over here, and we're going to see what we can see. I know there's still a Strev somewhere, and I'm guessing maybe he's over here to the other side. Artillery's doing a nice job of keeping him off me. And we're going to see what we can see. Find the Strev. Rebel sitting there. Yep, there you go, buddy. And now I got one artillery left, and I picked up the GW. And I'm just a little high with it. What are you going to do? GW is looking at me. Put shell into him, and now I'm on the move. He puts a... Love that. Love that. Stunned the shit out of me. Put a shell into him. One more for the kill. There you go, buddy. Thanks for playing. So it puts me up about 7,400 spotting, 1,327 damage. This is, like I said, this is the passive scout play. You noticed I didn't run out there. I didn't die because I wanted to play it like a medium right off the bat. I didn't go play peeky pokey with a bunch of other tanks, mediums, heavies, that kind of stuff. I played my own game, which is essentially what I said, passive play. I found myself, I knew where there was bushes, I knew where the good bushes are at, I know how the tanks move. where the enemy tanks are going to go, where's the best place to pick them up at, that kind of thing. And that's all it takes is a lot of practice, watching actual games, and of course going into training rooms to learn where all this stuff is at. So the other game is a little bit more interesting, not quite so much sitting around on my ass, but a little more active. Alright guys, back with the second game, and now we just did passive, now we're going to do active. And active is really, it's a little bit more entertaining. There's not a lot of sitting around on your ass and watching stuff happen. I'm alerting my teammates where I'm headed and where I'm going to spot, and that's kind of going to be kind of key to really racking up spotting damage. If you don't have something that can shoot at whatever you're lighting, it does you no good to be there. Yeah, you might be lighting them, but if nothing's shooting at them, then you're just putting yourself into a bad situation. Alright, you know, I talked about the other video, once again, knowing where on the map tanks are going and where you're going to be able to sit and good lights. I got me a Grill 15 coming up on the hill. He knows what's up. He's getting in position to do it. Pick up the 49. And I move over to this bush right here, and this is actually a pretty nice position. You know, like you said, I got the Grill 15 up on the hill. He has a general idea of what I'm going to be looking at here. Spot the M46 Patton right off the bat. Spotted the T49. He's in the bush down there hiding. He must not have an exceptionally good view range. So I actually flip myself around, and in the off chance I actually have to do is run. I want to be able to get it going as fast as I can. Alright, so we're going to play a little bit of a passive game here, just to see what's going on. I'm surprised because I thought we were going to get at least the A-line here, and usually after I spot a few tanks, I usually want to get out of here. I don't want to stick around here as little as possible. They have two T49s and an RU, which could be a very bad thing. So I pull back up a little bit more here, see if I can extend my view range all the way out to the line. And I pick up nothing. So, got the T49. He's sitting down there. Alright, so this game is going to be beyond, not going to be this dude, not going to be able to play passive. So now, it's time to get active. So I picked up the T49. They did some nice damage to him. And now I'm starting to plan my route here. Where can I go to get the best spots for my team? I know I got the AMX here, I know I got the Leo, and I have the Conway and the Grill. So, now it's time to get a plan. And the approach plan is always kind of important. You want to get as much cover as you can to get you in a position where you can use your lights. So I got the PTA up here on the hill, I got the AMX here, and these guys are going to be my best buddies if I run into trouble. So I want to go someplace that they can cover my approach. I could keep going down through the A-line, but I have nothing over there. These guys can't shoot over the ridge. So I'm going to stay relatively close to where they actually have the ability to support me. So I'm looking around, find the T10, and now I'm just going to slide up in here. This is a nice position to begin with. There's a little bit of a bush right here. Yeah, there we go. And since they're not really paying attention to me, I might as well rack up a little damage here. So I'm looking around, find the T49. He's just sitting right here. Yeah, there he is. Put a critical hit in on him. Look in here. Yeah, there you are, buddy. Oh, just over top of him. But I picked up 749 damage from somebody that shot the shit out of him. Now I got the T49 going across. He can be problems, so let's get him knocked out a little bit more than what he already is. Back up here. Find me the Conway. Oh yeah, there you are, buddy. What are you going to do? Ooh. There's the Wheezy. There you are, buddy. Kind of a hard thing to hit this tank right through that little hole. So all I'm doing right now is just being a pain in their ass. Making them turn their turn toward me to try to take shots at me. And I'm also in the position, once again, like I said, to light everything along that ridge right there for my team that is currently pushing down the 1-2 line. There's a lot of red there. There's a lot of red. Alright, So now I'm at that position where I'm not going to get anything more lit. So now it's time to move up and become a real pain in the ass to do a little bit more here. I have no idea where that went to. FV183 got lucky, and yeah, picked up a little bit more damage, 2,505 damage. Last E100 was spotted over here earlier, so he's no longer here. Now it's time to get busy. Now it's going to be time to keep my lights on these tanks. Find the RU-251 hanging out. The PTA and the Leo had not, the Leo and the Conway had not moved up enough to get a shot on him. RU-251's getting real fucking cheeky. I was really expecting by this time him to be dead. Picked up a little bit more damage on him. Find the E75. Yeah, pick up the rest of the damage on him. There's the RU-251. I can't hit him because of how I turned, set on this tank. Over the ass end, you have no gun depression. Leo's moved up. So now I got a Badger here. Got an AMX 5100, E100. Yeah. So we're going to move up in here and we're going to see what we can get for the Badger. Nope. Nope. And I'm just, like I said, all I'm doing right here is just keeping them lit for my team. Active scouting. This is what you're doing right here. Alright. So now, yeah, I'm going to keep him tracked and make sure he can't move, so I can move in a little closer here. Move in a little closer. Get another shot in him. Nope, can't finish him off. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Got the Badger. And now I got me a 1 artillery piece, a T49. Ah, yeah, fuck you. Let's get the arty. You know how much I love them guys. T49's left. AMX 5120's left. Yeah, I'm going to go over here and help the final little cleanup here. So, about 1,256 damage. Oh, 261, really? Finish him off. So, 1,400 damage, 5,100 spotting. And that is the active style of play for a light tank. So, I hope you guys kind of see the difference here, what I'm talking about. A little bit, hopefully, a little bit of some ways of how to approach it and how to move and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully this helps you guys out a little bit. So